What's up? It's your brother. And hopefully your friend, Big Hill. Rockwacey in the building. Black African Power. Each one teach one. Pro-black consciousness. Yeah, I was just sitting here this morning doing some studying, reading my art book, Guiding Principles on Moral Living. And I was going over this certain particular section in here, just reflecting on the information. I wanted to share this information with you because I think that this is important, man. I think that if we think about what I'm getting ready to share and go over with you, man, and try to kind of incorporate it in our lives, it will make us more effective. You know what I'm saying? We can be more effective in the way that we live and in the path that we're on and how to get there. And I believe it can be helpful. So, what I'll do is I'll read this. I'm going to read this and then I'm going to go through it and just point out some things that I thought about as I was thinking about it and meditating on it. It has to do with discipline. It says, practice discipline. Only through discipline can you truly be all that you wish to be. Discipline enables one to act. With it, you are free to carry out decisions, free from fear, doubt, ambivalence, and laziness. Discipline builds inner strength. The self-controls that come from such inner strength eventually become embedded in your personality. Without discipline, completing things that you start and fulfilling commitments can be more challenging. Further, the process of getting things done can be more stressful and drawn out. In a general sense, practicing these guiding principles on a daily basis, engaging in the process of self-analysis, and improving and giving your best each day supports the practice of discipline. Specifically, commit some time each morning to review your guiding principles and reflect on how you can implement them throughout the day. At the end of the day, evaluate how well you did. Consistently doing this cultivates discipline. Now, the reason I think this is important because when I look back on my life, right, I'm 51 years old. I lived over half a century. I know I don't look it, but hey, what can I say? Nah, but for real, being as old as I am, I would like to sit here and say that I have a high level of discipline, but I would be lying. Because when I look back, and even though, man, that you take somebody like me who floundered and faltered for about a decade and a half being on drugs and alcohol, and then when I got my stuff together and, and I started recovering from that, even though now I'm in a profession, I make a decent living, and I've accomplished some things. When I look at my lack of discipline, I can clearly see how my lack of discipline has made me stagnate. It's just been a thorn for me personally. It's been a thorn for me because when I look back, I can say, man, if you had more discipline, dude, you'd be way further along in some areas in your life than you are. And I'm quite sure that if all of us get honest, right, and we look at our lives, that we can clearly see that there's some areas in our life, whether it be financial, spiritual, physical, raising your kids. I'm quite sure that we can point at an area in our life that we're lacking in, or an area in our life that we're not really just doing that good in, and we can point to lack of discipline as being the main culprit. Just because we're not disciplined enough to adhere to whatever it is that we need to do in that area of our life to propel us forward or upward. You know what I'm saying? So to me, discipline becomes very important. It's a very important principle, and principles are just laws that govern. I would even go so far as to say it's a spiritual principle. Matter of fact, in my program of recovery that I first started back 15 years ago, discipline was the knife principle. So I actually had to practice that to overcome the addictions and things that had me plagued. That was one of the principles. And I still practice. It's just that right now, when I look, I'm trying to learn how to incorporate it and practice it to a greater degree. Because by doing that, I could clearly see how I could be more effective in the way I live my life. So let's go over here. I want to point some things out right quick. It says, only through discipline can you truly be all that you wish to be. Now, see, when you make, see, I'm a cynic and a skeptic. And when you tell me it's only one way to do things, my mind automatically rejects. I'm like, who are you? You don't know. How you just going to say discipline is the only way that I could be all that I wish to be? But then, up on deeper examination and looking a little bit closer at that, I would have to agree. I have to stop being cynical about a statement like that. Because think about it. If you're trying to be all that you wish to be, how other can you do that unless you apply some kind of discipline? Like if you're trying to be an entertainer, an author, whatever it is you're trying to do, you have to have the discipline to devote a certain amount of time to even reach that level of mastery that you're trying to achieve. And without the discipline, you're never going to get to that level. So yeah, only through discipline can you truly be all that you wish to be. Discipline enables you to act. I have to agree with that. With discipline, you're free to carry out decisions free from fear, doubt, ambivalence, and laziness. And ambivalence, that's a word we don't hear every day. Ambivalence is just a simultaneous attraction and repulsion to somebody, something, or something, It's like you like it and you hate it at the same time. When it comes to this, I would say it's more like first you say you do, then you don't. It's like, yo, I'm going to start going to the gym, but I hate going to the gym. Man, I need to work out more. Oh, but I don't like working out. A simultaneous attraction and repulsion to an active idea. And I can see how a lack of discipline creates that kind of psychosis. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got discipline, you'll make a decision and you will adhere to that decision. And you won't have that ambivalence surrounding that decision that you made. Ooh, I lost my place. So I can clearly see where discipline, man, like it says, by being disciplined, you're able to carry out decisions. You know what I'm saying? Because when you practice discipline, you become disciplined in your decision making. It's not that swaying back and forth. You're like, yo, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this at this time because I need to do it. And that discipline enables you to get up and do it at that time you said you was going to do. That's what discipline is all about. And it says discipline builds inner strength. The self-control that comes from such inner strength usually becomes embedded in your personality. Now, how many of us don't need more self-control? I know we got some gurus and some perfect people out there, but I'm not one of them. So, I could clearly see that practicing discipline. And I'm just going to be honest for a minute. The area of my life where I need to practice more discipline at is in the financial area of my life. Because my lack of discipline in my financial areas of my life keeps me from building the capital that I need to get off these corporate plantations and start my own business. You know what I'm saying? I like spending money. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, in order to do the things that I need to do and want to do, I'm going to have more discipline in the financial area of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like going to the gym. When I'm able to go to the gym, I'm disciplined in that because I actually like working out and stuff. So I'll get up and go even when I don't feel like it. Because I'm disciplined, I'm like, yo, I don't want to grow old, so I'll just go and do something in there, you know what I mean? But in that financial area, you know what I'm saying? Taking a certain amount of my income and just leaving it alone, you know what I'm saying? I could do better in that area of my life. So, as it says here, it builds inner strength, and I can see that because the more you do it, the stronger you become. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a problem eating and dieting, you know what I'm saying? You like chocolate cake. You You know what I'm saying? And you like, okay, well, I can't just stop eating chocolate cake. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to eat 1 or 2 slices of cake a month. And you adhere to that. You say, every other week I'm going to go get me a slice of cake. So if you do that for a couple of months, then you build an inner strength, because at first you was eating cake every day, every other day. You was chocolate cake. So I can clearly see how this is true. It builds inner strength. And then it says that eventually these qualities become embedded in your personality. It becomes who you are. And once again, how many of us can look and say that there's an area of our life that we don't need improvement and need to be more disciplined in? If you can sit up and say that there's no area in your life and you more disciplined, you just lying. I'm just going to call you a liar. You lying and you're not being honest with yourself. But anyway, it says, without discipline, completing things that you started, fulfilling commitments can be more challenging. Yeah, they can be more challenging. Why? Because you're undisciplined. Further, the process of getting things done can be more stressful and drawn out. You know, how many times we said, like, you know, we got a closet or something we need to clean up. And we keep saying, yo, I'm going to go and I'm going to clean that closet today. And you might even go in there and get started, right? And then halfway through something happens, you know, and you don't finish. That's a lack of discipline. That's a lack of starting something and finishing it in a timely manner. You know what I'm saying? So we can all use more discipline in that area. In a general sense, practicing these principles on a daily basis, that's where the discipline come in. Looking at your life, making a decision each day in some area, aspect in your life, I'm going to do this. Then adhere to doing that on a daily basis. And then engaging in the process of self-analysis. How many of us do that? I mean, we quick to analyze everybody else. You know, I can tell you what's wrong with you. But can I tell you what's wrong with me? Can I tell myself what's wrong with me? Do I analyze myself as much as I'm pointing the finger and analyzing everybody else? It says, engage in the process of self-analysis and improvement and giving your best each day supports the practice of discipline. Specifically commit some time each morning to review your guiding principles. How many of us even have guiding principles? I know. Jesus did my guiding principles. Yeah, right. I ain't even going to leave that alone. I'll get ready to go down that street right there, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to stay on this discipline right here. And I didn't want this video to be long. I just wanted to go through that and point them things out and just go through that information. And one reason why is because I need to embed it in my consciousness a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? So I figured that while I'm trying to help myself to become more disciplined, I'll share the information with you and give you my views on it. And if you got anything that you really want to say about it, man, feel free to leave it in the comment section. And, you know what I'm saying? Each one teach one. It might be something I'm missing that you might want to add, you know what I'm saying? And you might help me out. So, let's just try to be honest about the fact that there's some areas in our life that we need more discipline in. And think about the information that I just shared with you. And just, you know, starting today. I mean, you know, the biggest world in the room. I mean, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. We can always do a little bit better, right? So, you know, today is as good a day as any, because tomorrow is not promised to none of us. So we can make a decision today to say that we're going to adhere and stick to something and then try to become more disciplined in that area today. Like today, I said, man, I ain't buying nothing frivolous. You know what I'm saying? Today I'm going to eat fruits and I'm going to drink my greens, my stuff, and I'm not going to eat any junk today. I'm going to be more disciplined in my diet and my choices of what I eat today, because that's where I'm at in my life. I'm trying to live longer, so I'm trying to change my eating habits. And I don't want to be overcome and stricken with no illnesses or anything, because I've managed to live 51 years without them. So, you know, that's why I try to focus my discipline and watch how I spend my money, because I'm undisciplined in that area. And, you know, and think about where you need your discipline at and practice that today. Big Hill, Rock Wasted in the building. I'm out. Peace.